Yeah, 1-1 over the week. Coming off of a disappointing couple of results. It was nice on Sunday on family weekend to be able to put together a performance that was win worthy. Get 3 points in conference. Nice to get a shutout. Lost our starting goalkeeper in warm up just before we started Thursday night's game, and so had to go with a freshman. And then over the course of the weekend, I think even on Sunday, at one point had 7 freshmen on the field, true freshmen on the field at any given time. So having to rely heavily on our depth, having to rely heavily on our youth. Had Una and Julianne were also both out of Thursday night's contest, so certainly missed their leadership and their experience. But we battle on and just continue to take the next match as it comes and continue to try to grow and improve in areas that we need to improve in. And, big week coming up. Obviously, it's nice to get an in-state contest against La Tech. The match I think that really matters most to everyone is the conference match on Sunday at against Texas State, just because of the conference implications. But we'll certainly be preparing for Louisiana Tech, just like we do for any other match, and that's preparing to win and doing the things that we've got to do to be able to execute on game night.
I apologize if it breaks up a little bit. I think I'm having a little bit of phone trouble. But you mentioned the amount of young players that you have to use. Is that that doesn't have anything to do with like COVID-19 or people being out, or is it just injuries to the team?
Yeah, no, like I said on Thursday, we had 2 of our senior captains out, and then lost our experienced goalkeeper. So that's a 3-player swing. In our starting 11 and players that have been, in terms of our Una and Julianne, we've been relying on them heavily, certainly for the last 2 seasons. And, look at any sport in the college sport environment. If you're 70% freshmen on the field, you're gonna have some challenges, but those challenges are ones that we're welcoming. They're nothing to do with COVID. Our team has done an exceptional job of maintaining our bubble, so to speak. We've been testing every week for a number of weeks now, and have been very fortunate to not have had any COVID positive results in quite some time. And so I'm proud of them for that. That's mentally draining in and of itself, just to try to manage that piece of it. But no, the freshmen, they're playing because they're good players, and that's why we brought them in here. We believe in them. We trust in them. We believe and trust in all of our players, and it just so happened that some of the youth in our team have really started to pick things up here in these last week to 10 days. Part of that, I think, is just acclimation and adjustment to the college game, and we're starting to see them play with more confidence. So we're giving them the opportunity to come in and impact games, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Coach, it seems like a lot of your games this year come down to the final 2 or 3 minutes, and that sort of looked like it's been the case with several other schools that are playing. Is there anything you can attribute to that?
But you mean us and our football team too? No, I don't think it has anything to do with the times that we're in. There's nothing in particularly nuanced about the final 5 minutes. I think a lot of times the final 5 minutes of matches comes down to concentration and focus and just mental fortitude. And these young people are dealing with a lot of challenges right now. We all are. But those of us that are in the adult side of things, we've got a little bit more experience to draw on. And these young people are just trying to navigate. And, we've got 14 freshmen on our team. And that's a lot of youth and a lot of naivety. And there's a lot of need in that. But as a whole, I just think it's competition. I think it's the nature of sport. I think it's the nature of tight matches. I think the piece that goes with your question about the last 5 minutes is that every game that we've played so far, with the exception maybe of Sunday's match, has been very close. Even the opener against Abilene Christian, I thought was a very tightly contested match. So when you're playing close matches, the difference in those close matches is a detail here and a detail there. And we've managed some of those, and we haven't managed some of those, and that's something that we have to grow up a little bit as a team and mature as a team. And we've been talking about that, and what that means, and from a maturity standpoint in a competitive setting, and have that situational awareness. But like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with anything other than it's just competitive sport and tight matches.
But you mentioned the freshmen kind of stepping up here. Just going from high school to college is tough enough, but also dealing with the off season that they dealt with in terms of dealing with the COVID precautions. How have you seen them kind of handle all of the off season adversity to be able to make an impact like they are so quickly?
Yeah, I think overall really well. I mean, there's some inconsistencies. There's been some inconsistencies, and just in terms of the realization, talking about situational or context awareness that, I think that we've had to remind them of, but we're reminding all of us of those things. It's not just them, but as I said, they don't have, there's some life experience that they don't have and that they can't refer to and rely on to make those innate decisions sometimes. So we've encouraged them to be very mindful and to improve communication. We've tried to, as a staff and across our leadership council, is to do a good job of communicating information to them that's pertinent and relevant in the moment, and making sure that they're putting themselves in the best position, they're putting their teammates in the best position, they're putting our program and our institution in the best position they can. And it's a lot of, it's a lot of pressure, certainly on them. I feel like, like I said, that 70% of our team, for long periods of time on Sunday were freshmen. They're 18 years old. They have virtually no college experience. I mean, if that was, any other big sport, it would be unheard of. It's kind of unheard of to be playing 7 freshmen as well. But and in the context of this time, right? They didn't get a graduation. They didn't get to finish their high school seasons. There's a lot of things that they didn't get that we've all taken for granted, that we've been able to be on the receiving end of and be able to enjoy as sort of our rites of passage as we've gone through life, and they didn't get that. So considering all that they've dealt with, I'm really proud of our freshmen, and I'm proud of our leadership for really embracing them. We're basically half new and half returners, and so the returners have embraced them and tried to sort of incorporate them into the culture that we were building, to give them a right and a role and a responsibility within that. And I think it's been a collective effort. And we're sitting on 3-3 right now. Certainly not where we want to be. We feel like we could be far better than that. We feel like we could certainly be 4-2, maybe even 5-1. 6-0 wouldn't be out of reach if you look at some of the games that we've lost, but we're not. And we understand that we have a lot to do with that, and we just have to grow and grow quickly. And so with our freshmen and our youth and the team, that's a big ask, but I think they're capable.
How long before each match do you test, and how long before each match is it that you get the results?
Yeah, we're testing 3 days out. That's kind of the rule. So on a Thursday evening match, we're testing on Tuesday morning. For a Friday, I believe we'll either be testing Tuesday or Wednesday this week. And we generally know within about 24-hour time period we're getting our results. And there's conference policies and procedures that have to be followed, and our athletic training staff has to provide documentation to the conference, and normally I see that documentation go through, and I'm copied on that message about 24 hours post test. So we're not having to wait very long, and our communication level within our staff and our athletic training staff, our physicians, has been incredible through this time.
How do you personally handle the anxiety of not knowing maybe who might be available just 36, 48 hours before you have to play?
Yeah, I mean, you deal with that anyway. I mean, the three injuries that we had out on Thursday night, One of them happened the day before in training, and one of them happened literally 5 minutes before kickoff with our goalkeeper. So you have those anxieties, if you will, anyway, those uncertainties about who's going to be available, and you're going to have that anyway. You add COVID on top of that, it's another layer, it's another level. And we talked a lot this weekend with our team about dealing with anxiety and dealing with stress, and understanding that anxiety is not avoidable. There's going to be anxiety, but we don't have to be imprisoned by it. And so how do we manage the anxiety? Let's be grateful for what we have, grateful for the people around us, and grateful for the opportunities that we have, and trust each other, and trust what we're doing, trust our procedures. I think we all deal with it to some degree. I reached out to a mentor of mine over the weekend and just tried to get some direction and some feedback from an unbiased person, and read a great book over the weekend that deals exactly with anxiety, and trusting God for guidance and direction, and to ultimately be able to give information to our young people so that they can manage all that's going on in their lives right now. There's a ton happening, as you guys well know, and to be able to deal with all that stuff off the field and deal with the competitive demands on the field is tremendous stress for them. And like I said, I'm proud of them, and none of us are immune to it. We're all dealing with it, but like I said, we don't have to be imprisoned by it.